You finally sit down to relax. But instead of sinking into the cushions, your heart rate speeds up. Your shoulders lock into place. Your body reacts to stillness as if it is a threat. This physical tension is a background condition called productivity guilt. Years of conditioning in a culture that treats exhaustion as a status symbol have trained your nervous system to operate on constant high alert, misinterpreting a break as a dangerous failure. We have absorbed a narrative that personal value is directly proportional to daily output. By measuring worth through completed tasks, we treat sleep and leisure as luxuries, ignoring the biological data that shows they are requirements for memory consolidation and cognitive recovery. To dismantle that conditioning, we can use a structured system to reclaim downtime and protect sleep from the intrusive pressure to always be doing more. Breaking this cycle requires moving past passive resting. It requires a methodical, active defense of your personal recovery time. The process begins by mapping your internal guilt spikes. Use a physical journal to track the specific moments throughout your day when the urge to keep working starts to feel heavy. Watch for situational triggers. You might notice a wave of inadequacy when you try to take a short nap on a Saturday afternoon, or a sense of panic when you decide to sleep in on a Sunday morning. Writing these triggers down facilitates a process called cognitive diffusion. By externalizing the internal monologue onto paper, the brain begins to view these thoughts as objective data points rather than absolute truths, which naturally reduces their emotional control over you. Link the specific trigger directly to the feeling. For instance, recording that reading a fiction book at 2 p.m. immediately leads to the thought that you should learn a marketable skill instead. Identifying these specific triggers creates the awareness necessary to deploy targeted countermeasures before the guilt response can hijack your recovery. Once the triggers are identified, we move to the calendar. Open your primary scheduling app to secure your time. Schedule a minimum of 30 minutes daily and 1 3-hour block on the weekend, specifically for recovery. Mark these blocks as non-negotiable. A common failure point is treating this as empty time. If a block remains blank or unlabeled, the brain instinctively views it as a vacancy that can be overwritten by new tasks or emails. Treat this rest as an essential status meeting with yourself. You can use the Pomodoro method to strictly contain your active work hours, ensuring they do not bleed into these defended slots. This digital calendar shows the result. The recovery block is slotted in, marked as busy, and given a distinct color. This visual organization ensures that recovery holds the same structural weight in your day as a critical meeting. Explicitly scheduling these periods transforms rest into a proactive, defended priority rather than a luxury you only get when everything else is finished. To protect your sleep from the day's pressure, we follow a systematic shutdown sequence designed to lower physiological stress. 10 hours before bed, cut caffeine to metabolize stimulants. At 3 hours, stop meals and alcohol to drop core temperature. 2 hours out, end work using an alarm boundary. In the final hour, switch devices to grayscale. This structured countdown forces the nervous system to downregulate, making deep, restorative sleep possible. To manage the thoughts that arise when you stop working, we use a set of mental swaps to decouple your self-worth from your output. Write these permission mantras on sticky notes or set them as your phone's lock screen. You need immediate access to these facts, the exact moment the guilt response attempts to sabotage your downtime. Cross out "I'm being lazy" and replace it with the scientific truth: I am allowing my nervous system to regulate. Second, swap the heavy obligation of "I have to go to bed" with the empowering frame "I get to rest." Third, when you feel you haven't done enough, recognize that rest is a baseline physiological necessity that you require regardless of your to-do list. Having these pre-written responses ready neutralizes the guilt response, exactly when the brain tries to push you back into a state of chronic stress. With your triggers mapped, your calendar blocked, and your shutdown sequence active, the system is in place. Expect this transition to feel uncomfortable initially. Because your nervous system is conditioned for high alert, sudden stillness can cause a temporary spike in anxiety. This is a physical release of chronic stress. Like a spring unwinding, the body takes time to adjust as it leaves constant tension. This internal friction indicates the nervous system is finally downregulating, beginning the long process of biological repair. It is the measurable sensation of your body actually moving toward health. Start the shutdown sequence tonight. Share your chosen mental mantra in the comments to help normalize the transition toward balance for others. The most effective version of any individual is the one that has had the time to truly recover. Protecting your stillness is not a failure of ambition, it is the foundation of sustainable growth.